in today's lesson, we are going to be learning how to work out the area of a triangle. Now, just as a quick recap, we already know the area is the space inside a 2D shape. And you have already learned that the area of a rectangle is your base times your height. So the two lengths times together. You may have learned this as length times width. Now, if we look at this diagram down here, you can see in the space of the area of the rectangle, you can fit in two triangles. So if you were only working out the area of one of these triangles, you would work out the area of the rectangle, so base times height, and then you would want to halve it, divide it by 2. So the area of a triangle formula is base times height divided by 2. The area of the rectangle divided by 2. Now, as you can see, we can write it like this. So you've got your base times height on the top, and then we go all over 2, because we know that fraction line means divide. So base times height divided by 2. Now, this is the case for any triangle. The area of the triangle is always half the area of the rectangle, as long as you use the straight height given. So the straight height, it could be cut in the triangle down the middle, it could be along the side, not even in the shape. We don't want to use these slanty heights here. Okay, so not this one or this one. So this height here down the centre is called the perpendicular height. Now this is where two lines meet at a 90 degrees. So you can see here the base and the height meet at a 90 degrees, just like they did on our first triangle here. Our height and base met at 90. Okay, so the formula for the area of the triangle is your base times your perpendicular height, the height that meets at a 90, and then halve it, then divide it by 2. So we're going to have a go at a couple of examples. We want to work out the area of the following triangles. So number 1, you can see you've got a base of 6, a height of 5, and you can see that 90 degree is where the two lines meet, and we want to work out the area of the triangle. So as we know, the area of the triangle is base times height and halve it, all over 2. So like we said, our base is 6, our height is 5, and we want to go all over 2, so divide it all by 2. If we work out the top line first, we have 6 times 5. 6 times 5 is 30. But don't forget, we then want to divide it by 2. 30 divided by 2 gives us 15. And then our units for area are always squared, so centimetres squared. So the first answer is 15 centimetres squared. Question 2 then. So we have a triangle here, we've got 9 centimetres along the top, 7 centimetres going down. And you can see our 90 degrees, this is where our two heights meet at a 90, so we have our perpendicular height. Don't worry that your base is on the top of the shape, all they've done is rotated it, so this is still going to be your base times your height. So we've got 9 times 7 and halve it. So our area of a triangle is 9 times 7 and divide it by 2. 9 sevens, 9 times 7 is 63. Remember, you can use your trick with your fingers, or a nice quick way of writing the 9 times table down, going 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then going the other way. Okay, so 9 times 7 is 63, and we want to halve it. Now, some of you might be thinking, 2 doesn't fit into 63, as 63 is an odd number, but we still need to halve it. We need to go into the decimal. If you need to, do a bus stop, so we can put our 63 on the inside and our 2 on the outside. So 2 goes into 6 3 times exactly. 2 goes into 3 once, but with 1 left over. So remember, we carry the 1. We have to put decimal points down and add a 0. Now we've got how many 2's go into 10? 5. So our final answer is 31.5. And again, units very important, centimetres and always squared for area. Now when halving 63, if you'd rather, you could do half of 60, 30, half of 3, 1.5 and add them together. But if in doubt, use your bus stop method. Question 3 then. So again, working out the area of this triangle. Now you can see you've been given lots of different measurements here all over the triangle. But remember, you just want your base times that perpendicular height and halve it. Okay, so base times height and halve it. So your base here is your 15 and that height is the one meeting at a 90 degree. So we want to do base times height and halve it. Ignore that 12 and ignore the 9 because they are on the slanty lengths, which we don't want. So your base is your 15 and your perpendicular height is the 8. So area equals 15 times 8 and halve it for that triangle. So we've got 15 times 8. You can do a little multiplication if you need to, but 10 times 8 is 80. 5 times 8 is 40. So 15 times 8 is going to be that 80. Add 40 to give you 120. So 15 times 8 is 120, and now we need to halve it. So 120 divided by 2 gives us 60. Make sure you're concentrating on the units. Millimetres this time, squared, because we're working out area. Last example then, question 4. So you can see you've got 3 measurements. So you've got 13 metres, 9 metres and 11 metres. Remember, we want to do base times height and halve it. And we need that perpendicular height meeting at a 90. So even though this 13 looks like the straight height, as we call it, remember we want the 2 lines that meet at a 90 degree. Okay, so these 2 lines here meet at your 90. So you want to times the 9 and the 11. The 11 is your base and the 9 is the height, because these 2 lengths meet at that 90 degree. The 13 metres is there to trick you and put you off. We're not using that measurement. So we want to do base times height and halve it, 11 times 9 and halve it. So our area is 11 times 9 and halve it. 11 times 9, 99. Our 11s are a nice times table to remember, and we want to divide it by 2. Again, 99, an odd number, will put some people off. So, like I said before, if in doubt, bus stop, 99 on the inside, 2 on the outside. 2 goes into 9 4 times with 1 left over. 2 times 4 is 8, carry the 1. Now we've got how many 2's go into 19? 2 fits into 19 9 times. 9 times 2 is 18 with 1 left over. So again, decimal points down and add a 0. And then how many 2's go into 10? 5. So our final answer is 49.5 units from the question, so metres squared. So remember your area of a triangle, base times height and halve it.